Good evening and welcome to Greater Somerville for April 10th, 2012. I'm Cayenne Anderson. The Center for Arts at the Armory is a nonprofit organization located at 191 Highland Avenue in between Davis Square and Union Square in Somerville, Massachusetts. Their mission is to galvanize the creative spirit by providing a space where working artists in the community can come together. Recognizing that art can bridge cultural, class, and generational divides, Arts at the Armory showcases a wide range of visual arts, dance, theater, and musical performances, as well as providing studio office spaces for artists, a gallery, as well as a cafe. Our guests tonight are the driving force behind this organization and all of its events. Please welcome Debra McLaughlin and Jennifer Lawrence to the show. My first guest is the Executive Director of the Center of the Arts at the Armory since December of 2008. Along with the Armory, she is also the Managing Partner at the Canusta Group, which is a consulting practice dedicated to promoting social change in the areas of community development, youth development, arts, and education. Previously an Associate Program Officer at the Nellie Mae Education Foundation, Debra is a woman who is very passionate about collaborative solutions to complex social issues and finds community building to be her primary strategic objective. A native from southeastern Ohio, Debra has been actively involved in the Somerville community since she got here in the late 90s. She currently calls Ball Square home, where she lives with musician Roger Clark Miller. Our second guest is Jennifer Lawrence, and she is currently involved with the arts, cultural, and community programming booking for the Center for the Arts at the Armory since May of 2011. In addition to her work at the Armory, Jennifer is a researcher at From the Bodega to the Green Economy, Immigrant Entrepreneurs in Green Industry. The previous Executive Director of Groundwork Somerville from 2006 to 2011, she is also a Senior Fellow at the Environmental Leadership Program. Jennifer currently serves on the Board of Directors for Groundwork Somerville as well as Somerville Local First. And she's another active Somerville resident. Jennifer has called Somerville home for the past 9 years, and she currently resides in Winter Hill. Please join me in welcoming for their debut appearance here on Greater Somerville, Debra McLaughlin and Jennifer Lawrence to the show. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
We kind of got rushed at the beginning there. We didn't realize we were recording, so you might have heard our little idle chit-chat, but that's okay. I told them this was going to be painless. One thing, callers, if you want to call in, we do have open phone lines tonight. Call in at 617-628-9876 if you have any questions for our guests tonight about the Arts at the Armory. There's a lot of stuff going on. I think one of the greatest things about the Armory is that it really does provide this space where people can just get together at private functions, public functions. It's one of those things that you really walk by there. There's always such a buzz, and I'm really curious as to how you guys got involved with it. I mean, I know that you joined the team relatively recently. However, you've been such an active Somerville resident for quite some time. Debra, why did you choose to get involved?
Well, I think the Armory has been a labor of love for a lot of people, and there's been a core group of people that's been attached to this project for a very long time. Mm-hmm. The owners, certainly Joseph and Nabil Sater and Alan Carrier as partners, had a vision of this building being a community art space. Mm-hmm. And shortly after, myself, Susan Fiedler, she and I have been joined at the hip to really try to make this project happen. So when the building was first purchased in 2004, there was a pretty lengthy restoration period that was required because the building had been vacant for so long. So when we were able to open the doors in late December 2008, it's been a real process to go through all the proper licensing and permitting in order to have the community events we have now.
Well, also the community process. I mean, I live right near the Armory, and it was one of those involved, many meetings, many things about, and I think the neighbors, we can get to that a little bit later in the show, but I do think after all of that, I think most of the neighbors, cross my fingers, I hope most of the neighbors find it as a real asset to the neighborhood. But as an architect, I will kind of be a little bit of a dork this evening and just say that I'm fascinated by it because I drove by it so many times. Such a beautiful building. It was built in, 1903?
That's correct.
By George A. Moore. And it housed the Somerville Light Infantry of the Massachusetts Volunteer Militia. And then for 70 years, now this is interesting, it housed the Massachusetts National Guard, which is interesting because I'm working on a project for the National Guard.
great.
So
Wow.
it all comes all full circle here in Somerville.
Well, if any of your viewers, callers, have any information about the architect, we would love to know more because
that's
we
an
don't
interesting
have
challenge
very
for
much
everybody out there.
information about the architect or his
Really?
family. So if there's, I know that there are a lot of people who love this building, and
Yeah.
we do have people from the former, from the Guard days come in, as well as people who took their driver's license exam in that building.
Oh,
Because
wow.
it became a place for the motor vehicles for some time. So we get lots of stories, and I think one of the ideas we've had at one point is that how we could have almost like an oral history project, so that people who have old photographs and stories
Yeah.
about the Armory could come and we could kind of collect some of those, and it would be great to have a little show in our gallery about that.
That's wonderful. You know, Somerville Art Museum, or the Somerville Museum, I wonder if they have anything, because
Yeah.
they're really a good
That
source.
is a
Yeah.
really great idea.
Right around the
We should
corner.
contact
Yeah.
them, see?
Right.
If anybody's
There
listening. No, I think
Get in
the, now, Single Speed Design, they're the ones that did the design for the new the renovation.
That's
right?
correct. John Hong, which you may know
Okay.
him and his team, based in Cambridge, and they have an office now in New York City. They actually did the design work for the building, and
Okay.
it's really fabulous, the work that they've done, both inside and out.
Now, I have to ask this question, and again, this is going into my architectural, so bear with me, people at home. The purple ceiling. I have to say something about
Love
this
it.
because I feel like as an architect, no, I totally love creativity, but I think the bare bones of that building are so beautiful. I'm sorry I'm offending the architect, but I have to ask, was there a discussion point around that color? Was it, you know, did they just decide, let's do purple so that people on local TV shows will talk about it, how awkward it is? But I'm just curious where that came from.
Well, this is my understanding of where
Okay.
it came from. That they had to do sound insulation in the roof.
Yep.
So there was spray foam that
Yep,
was put in the
which is
ceiling.
not pretty anyway,
Which is,
so
that's
okay.
correct.
Fair enough.
And it's my understanding that Alan Carrier, who was one of the partners of the project, recommended that it be painted purple because it
Interesting.
basically tied together all the kind of linking the historical elements with the more industrial elements.
Okay.
And the color actually was called Purple Haze.
Ah.
So in an homage to Jimi Hendrix, it just seemed,
Interessante.
you know, appropriate to
Okay.
Have that.
That's fair. I mean, and that actually makes me recognize and respect it more. I just need to ask the question because every
Sure.
time I go in there, I'm like, wow, I love this place. Why did they paint that purple? But
We get a lot of comments about the purple.
see, so it's a
Probably
discussion.
that I get more people who come in when I'm setting up for an event
Yeah.
who say, one, I came here for my driver's test, and
Yes.
they're just coming in to see the room, and then they look at the ceiling and they say, wow, that is neat.
Yeah,
So
It's trippy,
Exactly.
very
Yeah,
trippy.
yeah,
Purple
exactly.
haze.
So that's wonderful. I really do like it, and there's a lot of beautiful detailing that they did maintain. So I
They
have
did,
to say, kudos to making just a wonderful piece of architecture alive again. So the mission, we've got the mission there. Let's talk about, there's so many events. So it's kind of like tonight's show is just about community events, what's going on there. But obviously there are those that stick out in my mind, like the Winters Farmers Market, which is a huge success.
yes.
I mean, it's really wonderful. And it goes through May 29th. So technically it's Winter Spring Market.
Right.
Which is great because it's right in time for the Union Square, which starts June 2nd.
2nd, correct.
So no overlap.
No overlap. It's the perfect transition.
And how has it grown this year? I mean, I just feel like there's just more people and it's
Wow.
just a buzz.
Yeah.
It's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think the winter market came out of Shape Up Somerville, which
Yep.
is the city's signature, national kind of effort to really promote health and well-being and physical activity. So Mayor Curritone and the support of his team, really to help, has been the driving force behind the
Yeah.
market for sure. So we're thrilled that we're the home for it at this moment. And we've had usually anywhere from 900 to 1,200 people that come through the doors
incredible.
each Saturday over a 5-hour period. We have a combined total of about 40 vendors. When you look at the number of different guest vendors we have with our core group of vendors. So it feels really, to us, the market's a way where we see our mission in action.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
supporting economic development. We have a wonderful group of musicians that play there for free, like every week. We have a nonprofit table every week. We have usually a food demonstration. And we have people coming each week, with their friends and family and buying wonderful food and having a good time with their friends. So
Yeah.
we're very happy about that.
Now, you just did something recently with the Shape Up Somerville grant application, right? Or didn't you? You were working diligently this week, something regarding Shape Up Somerville? It was connected to an effort, or maybe I'm...
Well, actually...
This wasn't on the sheet, so there...
No, the
I'm
grant...
sorry, but I just kind of asked these questions.
Well, we were working on a grant
Yes.
for sure,
Yep.
but it was to the Mass Cultural Council to increase our soundproofing in the cafe and in the hall.
Oh, you know what? That's wonderful, actually.
It's really fantastic. Our cafe, so I do a lot of the booking for the cafe, and
Yeah.
the cafe is this amazing space where we can bring newer artists who
Yep.
haven't been able to perform as much, and then acoustic artists who do perform a lot,
Okay.
either all over the country or locally, but you can't have any amplified bass and you can't have drums. And so
Now, is that based on the neighborhood community?
the community process,
Okay.
yes, and the fact that that there's sound bleed in the room, and we can't have
okay.
two events in both rooms either that have that. So if we get this increased soundproofing,
Oh,
it will just
wonderful.
expand people's ability to use the space.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Very exciting.
And now, okay, Winter's Farmers Market we covered. Let's talk about Yum.
Yum!
This is an exciting event.
Another
Tell me
food
a little
event.
Another food event. So Yum is the Immigrant Learning Center. I also work for the Immigrant Learning Center, the Welcome Project in Somerville. It's their annual food exposition, and they have, I'm not sure of the exact details, but they have a number of restaurants that come in, highlight their food.
Immigrant-run
they're all
restaurants.
immigrant-run and
Yep.
immigrant-owned restaurants.
Right.
And it's just a fantastic event. You
Little
can get-
celebration of immigrant food in
It's
Somerville
a
area.
great celebration. It's also a partnership on some levels with Shape Up Somerville and Somerville Local First, promoting.
And now there's also that card, right? There's
Yes, the Yum card.
The Yum card, which I'm sure you can pick up if
Yes.
you go to Yum. Or
Yes.
you get one or something like that. But I have my Yum card, so that's fantastic. It's April 25th from 6:30 to 9:30, and
Yes.
people want to buy a ticket before, it's $35 or $40 at the door.
Right.
If you get in, so you got to buy it.
That'll be the third year that Yum has been at the Armory, and I think it's one of the other great things about this community is that we have a lot of support from other nonprofits and other community groups in the area where they want to hold their event, there, and it just helps keep business and attention about ongoing activities in the city.
Well, here's a question: how is the booking? I mean, like, are you booking up fast? I mean, is it booking out?
Yeah, we are.
Someone wants to get a hold of Jennifer.
Yes.
We'll have some information for everybody on the website, so you can check that out. But if they want to book an event, what do they just call you up?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have two people who book most of the events at the Armory. Not all of them, but most of them. That's myself and Carrie Lavin.
Okay.
Lavin.
She's
She's
great. A member of the
phenomenal,
team, too.
wonderful. She couldn't come tonight. She has a sick son at home.
And we don't have any chairs. We'd have to cramp in here.
Yeah, we would have to cramp.
We're used to that.
Joe, we just left Joe at home. We don't need Joe.
We don't need Joe tonight. So you would get in touch with one of us.
Okay.
We really are booked out quite far, but what we're trying to do right now is do our interactive summer. And so we're trying to book something every single day of the summer that's an interactive thing. That doesn't mean that if you have a private event, you don't want it to be interactive, you can't still book with us.
Yeah.
But we are trying to book a very interactive summer where we have one dance troupe is having folks for the entire month of July bring in sort of memorable pieces that they want to add to a big art installation that they will then use the art installation as part of their dance.
Okay.
So that's the kind of thing that we're looking for right now. Also, as I mentioned, the cafe, we're trying to book every night in the cafe for the entire year. So for
I love that
singer-songwriters,
cafe. Yeah.
I love them.
It's a really sweet room.
It
and
is.
We've had teen open mic there,
Yep.
where Books of Hope, teen empowerment, and
Poetry night is very popular.
Poetry night
Yes.
is very
I went there just to get a coffee, and I was like, wow, what's going on? And it was poetry night.
Yeah, yeah. The
Harris Gardner.
Harris
and
Gardner, they're amazing.
Yeah,
We've got two poetry nights a month. One on usually the second Tuesday, but this month it's the third Tuesday, and then the third Friday as well.
Okay.
We have teen open mic night the first Tuesday of every month. It's phenomenal. And
Really? That's got to be interesting.
It is.
unbelievable. They're so good. It's Groundwork Somerville, Teen Empowerment, and Books of Hope.
Okay. So that's something to check out. And that's a whole different, teenagers. That would be interesting.
it's-
A different group.
They're so good. It's phenomenal.
Okay. And they keep it clean, open mic night?
They
I'm
do.
sorry, I have to ask the question. We're on live TV,
They
so
do.
keep
They
it
do.
clear on
No,
staff, but-
they're mostly what they're doing. Teen empowerment are mostly practicing for the peace conference,
Oh, okay.
and then groundwork is doing a whole host of
I'm
things.
just being facetious. So, no, that's wonderful.
Well,
I think
but I mean, it is phenomenal. I mean,
It's amazing.
their spoken word and the content, the depth in which they're really covering some very powerful subjects. I mean, it's very moving,
Yeah.
you know, to be part of seeing them and the support they're getting from their friends when they're practicing.
Now, here's an interesting thing, and I'm not trying to, I don't put you on the spot, but you're already on live TV, so technically you're on the spot. I mean, there's got to be some form of, like, a SCAT TV potential part, I mean, coming in, because I think that, I mean, SCAT TV and Wendy and all the folks here, Rachel and Vaughn, do a wonderful job in, you know, getting these messages out of such important things, and I think that this might be something that, I mean, depending, it might just be an interesting, you know, if you have a specific event that's highlights or just captures it, you know. I'm not trying to get
we would
Wendy.
love-
Yeah.
in trouble.
No,
No.
Wendy. We've been talking to Wendy.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
We want to do something.
Just thinking about that.
No, I mean, I think, again, there are lots of opportunities to partner with organizations, and we'd like to do that. And
Collaboration is
Right.
wonderful. Get the
And
word out.
I actually do have an upcoming collaboration that Wendy's trying to figure out if she can do more.
Okay.
But we have a great new sort of American Idol type.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
I'm in.
I know.
I'm getting my microphone.
You can sign up. It's
I'm
Reaching
awful
for the
singer also.
Stars. Reaching for the Stars.
Oh.
It starts May 10th, and we'll have 4 weeks of auditions in the cafe.
Get out.
I'm not
No,
kidding.
wait a
And
minute,
then-
singing only?
Singing.
That's it? I'm already,
You might need to get in there.
ideas of
I'm going to sign my friends up, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's amazing. We have guest judges. Our judges are the fantastic Jimmy Del Ponte,
Oh my God.
Gordon Michaels,
Uh-huh.
who is such a huge personality,
my
Broadway guy, and Holly Banks with the Somerville Scout
Oh yeah. she's-
are our 3 judges.
Okay, I'll be
So,
on
yeah.
backup. I'll be on backup judge. If you, I'll put me on the
I'll
list.
put you on
alternate.
backup. We might-
Absolute backup.
We might. And then on the finals, which will be in the hall, will be broadcast live on SCAT.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's-
Oh my God,
it's
I'm gonna do.
gonna be
Okay,
fantastic.
so that's on there. Okay, I have to like that. I didn't see that on there. I'm surprised. I totally did my research last night. Obviously not well enough. Okay, let's talk about the eyeball. Yeah, we've got some time here. Let's talk about the Arts at the Armory fundraiser. That's on May 10th, called the Eyeball. Tell me a little bit about that, Deborah. What's going on there?
Well, the Eyeball, Keeping It Surreal, is
love
kind of
that.
our
Very
first,
funny.
you know, kind of signature fundraiser that we're having in our space. Mayor Curtatone is our honorary chair of the event, and he will be our special guest for the evening. And we also have Roger Miller as our special guest artist and musical kind of guest. We're also, it's basically just a celebration of surrealism and kind of the surprises that happen when you sort of take what would seem to be ordinary circumstances and something extraordinary kind of happens as a result. And certainly it's been pointed out to me that the Armory kind of fits that definition
Interesting.
because
I love
there's just been lots of unusual things that have happened as a result of trying to make the Armory kind of work.
And you're encouraged to wear surreal dress.
Totally.
Yes, surreal
And
dress.
we're hoping
music and cocktails. Will be
Yes,
there.
exactly, and food.
And a silent auction, which I hear is pretty
Yes.
exciting.
Yes.
We're basically gathering items for all those kind of prizes.
Okay.
And now we have a great group of interns from Tufts University that's helping us organize
They're
the
great. They're
Eyeball.
always offering to help. It's
Right.
wonderful.
They really have been superb.
And now it's $25 general admission or $75 VIP for you folks. That's
So
our
if you wanna
VIP out there.
rub shoulders
Yeah.
with the mayor.
Now, can you go to the door and buy a ticket, or do you have to buy it online, or what do you do?
Well, the goal is to sell out before.
Because you have a max, what's the max
However,
about $350, right?
$395 is our max,
$395.
right?
Right, exactly.
And so if we sell out, so you want to buy them ahead
This
of
is
time.
true. This
Right.
is true.
But you
April.
can buy them at the door if it's not sold out.
Right.
Okay. One of the things one more food/beverage type thing that I need to mention. June 16th. Hyper local brew tasting. I am so amazed by all the Somerville brew. They're popping up.
They're everywhere.
Some Slum Brew.
Yeah.
Love it.
They're
The
doing it
Independent.
really
I mean, they have they have a couple of them on tap at the Independent,
Yeah.
and I mean, so
Right.
this is celebrating all
We
of
have
the
them
ways.
on our menu always as well, and then we have pretty things as well.
Yeah, that's actually, forgot to mention it, the Armory Cafe has a beer and liquor, or beer and wine
Beer and wine.
license.
Yes.
And now when was that acquired? That was recent.
Just basically, we received it in March of last
From
year.
Dali.
Right.
That's
They were,
fantastic.
again, we have been very fortunate to
Yeah.
have the support of so many wonderful partners, and we wouldn't have been able to have this donation without the Chamber of Commerce and Ray Zongetti in particular, who worked in his role as the chair of the Entertainment and Nightlife Committee to help facilitate this transaction with the support of the city and the mayor's office.
It's wonderful.
So it's made a huge difference to us in terms of being able to have a range of events where folks like to have a glass of wine for a gallery opening, or have a really wonderful, delicious craft beer when they're seeing their friends play a show.
Well, in addition to that, I was going to get to this, is one of the things I love about the Armory is that not only does it have these wonderful food events, which I often attend, but the educational events as well. And, you have an educational series the Chamber of Commerce is putting on.
We just had one today.
Yeah, and, those are the types of things where you're teaching a skill, I think it was on social media
Right.
Yes.
or something like that, marketing, et cetera, online.
That's right. Kristen L. Worthley.
Yeah,
was
I
there
was going to
today.
tell
She's
Joe.
great.
I was going to tell Joe Lynch to go to that because he's so not tech savvy, right, Joe? I know you're not. But yeah, like things like that people really can just pop in. Go. I mean, do they have to sign up for those events, or do they come? They pay as they go, or is it free, or how does it? Is it just depend on
Well,
the
it
event?
definitely depends.
It does depend. I mean, for the Chamber series, it helps to sign up in advance.
Okay,
for
'cause those
sure.
are usually pretty full.
It's free for Chamber members,
Okay.
but it's a modest price if you're not a Chamber member.
Okay.
We're also kind of launching a series of art education classes for young people during April School Vacation Week, which
Yeah.
is starting next week. And those classes have varying prices. But
Okay.
we're having circus arts, STEM classes for girls,
wonderful.
introductory guitar, music, and also kind of arts-based collaborative games.
Yeah.
And a playtime, Knucklebones is also going to be a part of that series next week.
So people really have no excuse not to get involved.
No
I mean, or just to, if you're always like, what should I do? Just go to the Armory. That's what I do. I just kind of wander, go to the Armory. The cafe, let's just make note of the hours. We've got the Arts at Armory Cafe is open 8 to 6 p.m. on Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday through Saturday, it's 8 to 10. And then Sunday is 10 to 5.
That's
Right.
correct.
And they have a very good latte, which I actually enjoy.
Delicious coffee.
They do have delicious
I go
coffee.
out of my way to go there, even
It's-
if I'm not working.
It's quite enjoyable.
Right.
Okay, we've got a couple more minutes. So I want to talk a little personal history because there's so many things. We could go on and on about all this going on in the Armory. So if you're interested, you just go to the website that's going to be up on our blog and you can check that out for yourself.
Right. Or our Facebook page where we post our
Facebook,
late
this is true.
breaking, news.
This is true. You want to get up to date. Now, are you guys on Twitter?
We are.
We
indeed.
are.
That's
Yes, we
okay.
are.
You know what? I think I follow you.
No,
Actually, I'm
oh,
on
geez.
Twitter as well. To tweet that up. No, so there's a lot of ways to get involved. So
Right.
we'll put that all on the website. Personal history in terms of with all these events, there's hard to pick just one. But if you were to say, top two kind of shining moments of your. You've been at the Armory since the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think those would be?
Well, it's hard to choose, honestly.
It is, and we're not.
because
You're not
it's-
picking favorites here. It's just more of like what pops out.
Right. Well, I would say one, aside from the farmers market, which has been a wonderful experience for all the reasons we spoke earlier, I would say Split Signal silent film scored live was another huge success for us. It really paired documentary filmmakers with musicians, and
Oh, that's
it was
interesting.
the first time we really had kind of a multimedia interdisciplinary kind of experience there.
I like it.
And it really kind of made us more aware of the possibilities of those kinds of collaborations. It was just a wonderful collaborative experience all around for everyone.
Okay.
So I would say that was a huge one that sticks in my mind.
Okay. How about you?
But mine was a silent film also.
You can't do that now. You have to pick another one.
But a different one.
Well, it was a
right?
different one. It was a very different one. It was
Yeah.
Brendan Cooney has this amazing. He's a Somerville resident, up right across the border, Medford resident. Sorry, Brendan. I didn't
Close
mean to
enough.
do
Close
that.
enough. Close enough. That's okay.
So he created this amazing company called Not So Silent Cinema, and he has started doing the same thing, and he's doing live score to silent films. And so in October he did Nosferatu, And we thought we would get maybe 75 people there, and we had to bring out reams and reams of more chairs because we had
Really?
about 175 people come.
Wow.
And he just did one a couple weeks ago, and it was Buster Keaton, 3 shorts.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to check it out now. So, if you're a upcoming artist and/or musician, and you want opportunities, because there are opportunities at the Armory to display your art, I believe, but I'm not sure how that process works.
There
Can you
is.
maybe share a little bit about that?
Sure.
There's actually 2 gallery spaces that we have. We have a small gallery right outside of the performance hall, and that space is actually booked through the end of this calendar year,
Okay.
Which has been very exciting. We have a number of really wonderful exhibits that we've had already. So if anyone's interested, please contact us and we can get you in our process for 2013. The cafe space, we're more actively seeking artists for shows there. We've just had a show that came down recently, a photography show by Carl Garcia, who is actually a local businessman in the Somerville area, right in Bell Square. It's actually his show will be coming up and going up, I should say. So we're looking for more kind of opportunities to show artists' work in that space. So they can just send us a line at info@artsatthearmy.org, and we'll channel it directly to the right person.
And now, what about musicians in a similar light? I mean, do those book? I mean,
Yeah, I think info is the way most people
okay.
get in touch. We also have a cafe bookings.
Right.
Oh, there's a separate
address
bookings.
as
Okay.
well. But I mean, it all comes to all of us.
Yes,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, right.
So really,
Yeah,
once
okay.
we streamline and we have more staff than just the 4 of us, we'll be able to.
How many staff is there? I was looking on the website, my little
Well, I
research.
think we need to update our website a little bit just to reflect some of the more recent changes. But basically, we have Susan Fiedler, who's the Director of Events and Operations, Dan Kalis, who's recently become the Director of Community Relations, and he's a longtime Somerville resident, and he's been doing some great stuff for us. You know, Carrie Lavin and Jen doing work on the cultural programming, and then we have Laura Sargent, who's doing a great job managing the cafe.
Okay, and one more quick thing, we've got about a minute left, but I want to mention this. As we both know, or we all know, there's been some challenges with accessibility at the Arts of the Armory, the building, and I'm happy to report, as I've been a nosy little neighbor, that the ramp, the accessible ramp, has been modified, and so I understand that the Arts of the Armory is now officially accessible from that entry. Is that correct?
Well,
I mean, it's...
we're a tenant in the building.
Excuse me,
so,
not-
so
yes, right.
the owners made sure that work got finished.
Yes.
It was done at the end of March. The state has been out to inspect it. I think there's a 30-day kind of period
Okay.
where they're processing everything. But we look forward to having that building be officially
Fantastic.
approved.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to thank our guests, Debra McLaughlin and Jennifer Lawrence, for stopping by Greater Somerville tonight and talking with us about all the exciting events coming up this spring and summer at the Arts at the Armory on Highland Avenue. Both of my guests tonight give countless hours to make our community more culturally rich and better all around, and I just want to take a moment of my time and thank them for their service to the city, because I think that people like this make our city a wonderful place to be. So that does it for us tonight. Please check out our website for more information on tonight's episode and related links, as well as all of our Greater Somerville episodes. Thank you for joining us tonight, you viewers at home, and as always, stay safe and stay informed. Good night, everyone.